telah berhasil memperoleh sejumlah paten.
Pendidikan adalah kehidupan yang terus hidup. Mari kita jadikan ilmu sebagai bentuk eksistensi diri kita sebagai manusia yang terus ingin belajar. Semoga cita-cita kita semuanya untuk menjadi mahasiswa yang menempuh pendidikan di Universitas Terbuka ini akan lahir sebagai manusia-manusia yang hebat.
Harapan saya buat mahasiswa UT jangan pernah kecil hati dan jangan pernah patah semangat, dan mudah-mudahan membuat kita komit untuk bisa menyelesaikan perkuliahan di UT. Semangat terus!
Harapannya semoga Universitas Terbuka di era globalisasi ini dan juga di era digital tetap berkualitas dan tetap menjangkau yang tidak terjangkau. Pendidikan berkualitas di Indonesia terus merambah kemana-mana.
Di balik langkah kecil seorang anak, tersimpan mimpi yang begitu besar. Bukan tentang kemewahan, bukan tentang harta, tapi tentang ilmu, cahaya yang mampu mengubah masa depan.
Terkadang ingatan membawa kita kembali ke awal, ke masa saat dunia adalah taman bermain yang luas dengan penuh rasa ingin tahu. Dan lihatlah kini, semangat kegembiraan dan rasa ingin tahu itu telah mengantarkannya menjadi bagian dari sebuah perjalanan besar. Perjalanan yang ia jalani di Universitas Terbuka. Tempat impian dan potensi tak pernah berhenti bertumbuh.
Setiap hari selalu kuawali dengan yang aku mau. Bebas tapi bertanggung jawab, fleksibel tapi pasti. Hari-hariku dipenuhi dengan semangat untuk kuliah dan meraih profesi. Karena aku mampu mandiri, UT menempaku untuk mandiri. UT memberiku kesempatan belajar kapan dan di mana saja. Dan tentu saja bisa mengelola waktu untuk belajar dan bekerja. Hingga kini, aku mampu meraih profesiku. Menyenangkan, dan aku siap meraih prestasi yang terbaik. Gimana dengan kamu? Kemandirian ciri khas utama kami. Ya cuma UT yang bisa begini.
Linda, aku harus pergi. Hubungan kita akan jarak jauh.
Apa? Kom di mana?
Jangan.
Hah? Kom di mana? Tidak boleh pergi jauh-jauh dari Sakoto.
Hubungan jarak jauh emang berat. Mending kuliah jarak jauh di Universitas Terbuka.
Pengen kuliah? Kuliah di perguruan tinggi negeri. Pusing dengan biaya tes masuk. Bukan cuma itu. Biaya kos, biaya makan, ongkos, kuota mahal.
Gak usah galau. Kan ada UT. Kuliah di Universitas Terbuka. Tanpa ongkos, tanpa kos, iya. Hasilnya, jos. Universitas Terbuka. Kuliah fleksibel sesuai gayamu.
Eni, kita harus berpisah sementara. Aku akan kuliah di kota demi cita-cita kita. Tunggu aku pulang.
Jangan, Oma. Kamu kuliah di UT saja. Kamu bisa terus bernyanyi dan kita bisa selalu bersama.
Oh iya, aku lupa. Terlalu. UT kan negeri dan masih bisa kuliah dari mana saja.
Betul, Oma.
Hanya di Universitas Terbuka.
Jo, itu Teguh gimana ngajak-ngajakin warga kuliah itu gimana? Hah? Mas Teguh, saya dengar dari warga, kamu itu ngaku mahasiswa. Dan kamu ngajak-ngajak warga kuliah. Kamu itu kerjanya di rumah terus. Mau nipu ya?
Saya kuliah di Universitas Terbuka, Pak. UT itu negeri, biayanya pas di kantong warga. Kuliah bisa dari rumah, bahan ajar pun langsung, Pak, dikirim ke rumah.
Permisi, paket dari Universitas Terbuka.
Nah, sekarang percaya toh, Pak, cuma Universitas Terbuka yang bisa kayak gini.
Ayo. Aduh.
Sayur-sayur.
Harga-harga sekarang pada mahal.
Tiap hari masuknya kangkung terus.
Lihat tuh, udah jadi PNS. Padahal kuliah aja enggak. Pasti sarjananya beli.
Dia kan gak pernah kelihatan pergi kuliah. Tiba-tiba udah ada gelar SIP. Permisi.
Ibu-ibu ketinggalan berita nih. Dia kan kuliahnya di Universitas Terbuka. Kuliahnya bisa di mana aja, kapan aja, kampusnya negeri, biayanya kagak mahal. Kalau kata anak saya nih, fleksibel.
Kok abang tahu UT?
Ya tahu dong, anak saya yang nomor 1 PNS guru, lulusan UT. Nah yang nomor 2 sekarang udah semester 5.
Wah hebat abang ini, jualan sayur anaknya kuliah semua.
UT itu kan mahasiswanya beragam, dari mulai kalangan elit sampai ekonomi sulit kayak saya. Kuliah di mana aja dan kapan aja, cuma UT yang bisa begini.
Dapatkah langkah kecil di antara sunyi menuntun pada cita yang tak terbayangkan? Dari sebuah cermin yang memantulkan mimpi dari seorang anak yang tumbuh dan mulai mencari jalan hidupnya. Dunia yang dulu terasa jauh, kini ada di genggaman. Universitas Terbuka hadir membuka jalan bagi siapa saja, dari mana saja, untuk terus belajar dan berkembang. UT menawarkan fakultas dan jurusan yang beragam untuk menjangkau segala minat dan potensi. Tak hanya itu, UT juga berkomitmen pada pelestarian lingkungan dengan menerapkan konsep Green University yang dilengkapi fasilitas ramah lingkungan. Ribuan mahasiswa tersebar di berbagai wilayah, dari Sabang sampai Merauke, bahkan hingga luar negeri. Ini membuktikan bahwa di UT, belajar bukan lagi soal tempat atau waktu, melainkan tentang kesempatan yang terbuka luas untuk semua orang. Di Universitas Terbuka, teknologi bukan sekedar alat, tapi jembatan yang menghubungkan mimpi dengan kenyataan. Berbagai inovasi pembelajaran dihadirkan, mulai dari tutorial berbasis AI, siaran radio, UT TV, hingga dunia virtual dan metaverse. Bahkan terdapat sistem ujian yang fleksibel dan inklusif. UT memastikan akses pendidikan menjangkau seluruh pelosok, dari kota hingga desa. Dosen dan tutor UT hadir melalui layar, suara, dan ruang digital. Dengan teknologi, menjangkau yang jauh, menguatkan yang ragu, membimbing setiap mahasiswa menuju ilmu tanpa batas waktu, tanpa jarak yang menghalangi. Universitas Terbuka memiliki 775 dosen tetap yang tersebar di seluruh Indonesia, serta memiliki 35 profesor dengan target peningkatan 2,5% per tahun. UT juga didukung oleh ribuan tutor aktif yang memfasilitasi pembelajaran. Setiap langkah kecil yang konsisten, lambat laun menjelma menjadi pencapaian besar. Universitas Terbuka tak hanya tumbuh, tapi terus membuktikan kualitasnya. Prestasi demi prestasi diraih, penghargaan dan akreditasi menjadi bukti bahwa kualitas tak pernah diragukan dan komitmen terhadap pendidikan terus dijaga. Inovasi lahir bukan sekedar pembeda, namun sebagai jawaban atas kebutuhan belajar yang terus berkembang. Dari teknologi pembelajaran terkini hingga sistem yang lebih ramah dan inklusif, semua dirancang agar pendidikan dapat menjangkau ke semua lapisan. Terbukti, berbagai terobosan ini telah berhasil memperoleh sejumlah paten.
Pendidikan adalah kehidupan yang terus hidup. Mari kita jadikan ilmu sebagai bentuk eksistensi diri kita sebagai manusia yang terus ingin belajar. Semoga cita-cita kita semuanya untuk menjadi mahasiswa yang menempuh pendidikan di Universitas Terbuka ini akan lahir sebagai manusia-manusia yang hebat.
Harapan saya buat mahasiswa UT jangan pernah kecil hati dan jangan pernah patah semangat, dan mudah-mudahan membuat kita komit untuk bisa menyelesaikan perkuliahan di UT. Semangat terus!
Harapannya semoga Universitas Terbuka di era globalisasi ini dan juga di era digital tetap berkualitas dan tetap menjangkau yang tidak terjangkau. Pendidikan berkualitas di Indonesia.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Professor Rahmat Budiman.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you.
Okay, we are honored to welcome you online, sir.
Thank you.
We will begin in a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Our event will begin in a few moments. We sincerely appreciate your presence and participation in today's academic event. Kindly take your seat and make yourself comfortable. Thank you. The Honorable Vice Rector for Academic Affairs Universitas Terbuka, Professor Rahmat Budiman SSM Hum PhD, who is joining today's event online. Dean of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training Universitas Terbuka, Profesor Dr. Ucu Rahayu MSc, our distinguished guest speakers from Pangasinan State University, Philippines, Dr. John Paul M. Flores and Ms. Larni B. Anseta, MAED. Our respected discussants, Dr. Randa Titi Chandrawati, MAD, PhD, and Dr. Andayani, MED. Vice Deans, Head of Study Programs, Lecturer, distinguished guests, and all participants joining us both on-site and online. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Salam sejahtera for all of us. Praise to be Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, Tuhan yang Maha Kuasa, for blessings and mercy so we can gather together today in a good health and happiness. Welcome to the visiting lecture organized by the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training Universitas Terbuka with the theme Bridging Southeast Asian Perspective, Asian Early Childhood Curriculum, and a STEM Education for Young Learners. Today, Friday, 22 May 2026, we are delighted to bring together academic perspective from Indonesia and Philippines through this collaborative international academic forum. My name is Suci Nurhayati, and I have the honor of serving you as a master of ceremony for today's event. Dear participants, before we begin the session, please allow me to inform several important points. This visiting lecture is conducted in a hybrid format. Participants are joining both on-site at Rasamala Room, Wisma 2 Universitas Terbuka, and online through Zoom meeting. Participants joining via Zoom are kindly requested to keep their microphones muted during the presentation session. Questions may be submitted through Zoom chat feature or during the discussion session guided by the moderator. We also kindly encourage all participants to actively engage in today's discussion, as this forum is intended to strengthen academic exchange and international collaboration. Thank you for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, to foster our spirit of nationalism and institutional pride, let us begin this event by singing the national anthem Indonesia Raya, followed by Hymne Universitas Terbuka. We kindly invite all distinguished guests and participants in this room to stand.
Indonesia
Please be seated. Dear distinguished guests and participants, we will now continue with the welcome speech delivered by the Dean of the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training Universitas Terbuka. Please welcome Professor Dr. Ucu Rahayu, MSc.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. Your Excellency and Honored Vice Rector for Academic and Student Affairs of Universitas Terbuka, Professor Rahmat Budiman, M.Hum, PhD, is joining us online. Our distinguished guest speakers from Pangasinan State University, Philippines, Dr. John Paul M. Flores and Ms. Larni B. Ansita, M.A. ED. Our valued discussion, Ms. Titi Chandrawati, MED, PhD, and Dr. Andayani, MED. Our respect of his colleague, the Vice Dean and the Head of Study Programs of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training UT, our esteemed lecturers, academic staff, the organizing committee, and the dearest students who join us here in Rasa Malarum and through our live and streaming platform. First and foremost, let us our praise and gratitude to Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, whose grace and mercy that we are able to gather here today to attend the International Visiting Lecture with the theme Bridging Southeast Asian Perspective, ASEAN Early Childhood Curriculum and STEM Education for Young Learners. The visiting lecture we are inaugurating today is not only a routine academic program. It is a powerful statement to the friendship, trust, and shared vision between two institutions, Faculty of Education and Teacher Training Universitas Terbuka and Pangasinan State University, Filipina. We are bound by a common conviction that the nation of ASEAN have a collective responsibility to shape the future of education and have immense wisdom to learn from one another. Today, we are happy and proud to learn from two outstanding scholars from Pangasinan State University, Philippines, Dr. John Paul M. Flores will share about the main curriculum of the early childhood education in the Philippine education system. And Ms. Larni B. Anseta, MAED, will share about STEM education in elementary school. In this event, we present our distinguished discussant, Dr. Anda Titi Chandrawati, MED, PhD, and Dr. Andayani, MED. They will bridge this Philippine perspective with our Indonesian context. The dialogue among presenters, discussants, and participants in this event ensure that what we discuss today not only theory, but become a catalyst for action in our education tomorrow. This event is attended by around 40 offline students of Professional Teacher Development Study Program, Head of Study Program, and more than 300 student lecturers, tutors of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training who are attending via Zoom or online. I would like to express my deepest appreciation to the expert, to Dr. John Paul M. Flores and Ms. Larni B. Anseta as lecturers, our speakers, and also to Bu Titi and Bu Andayani. I also would like to express my appreciation to the organizing committee for their tireless dedication. Finally, I wish to express my profound gratitude to Bapak Profesor Rahmat Budiman, PhD, our Vice Rector for Academic and Student Affairs, for his support on this international visiting lecture. With great respect, I now invite him to deliver his opening remarks and to officially declare this visiting lecture open. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Ucu Rahayu, MSc, for the inspiring welcome remarks. Next, we would like to invite the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs Universitas Terbuka, Professor Ahmad Budiman SS MHum PhD, who is joining us virtually to deliver the opening remarks. Please welcome.
Thank you, Bu Siti. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everybody. Distinguished guests, our esteemed keynote speakers, Ms. Larni B. Ancheta, MAED, and Dr. John Paul M. Flores from Pangasinan State University, the Philippines, the Dean of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka, Professor Ucu Rahayu, Vice Deans of FKIP Universitas Terbuka, and also our highly respected discussants, Dr. Titi Chandrawati, MED, PhD, and Dr. Andayani, MED, other faculty members, lecturers, academic staff of FKIP and Graduate School of Universitas Terbuka, also my students of PGSD, PG PAUD, and PPG, who are joining us virtually and on site. On behalf of the Rector of Universitas Terbuka, I would like to extend our warmest welcome and highest appreciation to Ms. Larni B. Ancheta and Dr. John Paul M. Flores from Pangasinan State University of the Philippines. Thank you for graciously agreeing to share your valuable knowledge, experience, and expertise with us today. Your presence is a great honor, and we are confident that your insights will profoundly enrich all participants. Today's visiting lecture beautifully bridges two highly relevant and complementary topics. The first session, presented by Ms. Larni B. Ancheta, MAED, will address STEM education in elementary school. This presentation will explore how science, technology, engineering, and mathematics can be meaningfully integrated into early education to nurture inquiry, creativity, and critical thinking from a very young age. The second session, presented by Dr. John Paul M. Flores, will examine the main curriculum of early childhood education and the Philippines education system. This will offer a comprehensive overview of how the Philippines structure its early childhood framework to support holistic childhood development. Together, these two presentations provide a rich comparative lens for us to reflect upon and refine our own early childhood and elementary education practices here in FKIP Universitas Terbuka, Indonesia. This forum stands as a testament to the spirit of ASEAN collaboration that Universitas Terbuka and FKIP deeply cherish. The exchange of knowledge and best practices between Indonesia and the Philippines reflects our shared aspiration to elevate educational quality across the region. As two of Asia's largest nations, we face common challenges and unique opportunities in shaping curricula that are responsive, inclusive, and future-ready for our youngest learners. As an open and distance learning institution committed to making higher education accessible across the corner of Indonesia, Universitas Terbuka views this forum as highly strategic Our graduates serve as frontline educators and early childhood practitioners in diverse communities throughout the nation. Therefore, the perspective shared today will directly enrich their professional capacity, ultimately benefiting the children they teach and nurture. We sincerely hope that all participants will fully utilize this forum, not only to absorb new knowledge, but also to forge meaningful academic connection and explore avenues for future collaboration with Pangasinan State University. It is through continuous dialogue, shared learning, and cross-border partnerships that we can build a more vibrant educational landscape for the children of ASEAN. In closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Dean and the organizing committee of FKIP Universitas Terbuka for their hard work and dedication in making this event a reality. May this visiting lecture run smoothly, inspire all who attend, and sow the seed of a lasting academic partnership between our university. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you for the insightful opening remarks, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the main academic session, we will first conduct a group photo session together with our Honorable Vice Rector who is joining us virtually, as well as all participants attending both on-site and online. May I kindly invite Dean of FKIP Universitas Terbuka, all Vice Deans, our distinguished speakers, and discussants to please come forward for the documentation session. For the first formation, may I kindly ask the Dean, Vice Dean, speakers, and discussion to face the on-site participants so that our Vice Rector and online participant may also be captured in the photo documentation. For all participants who joining online, please smile and wave to the camera. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Now, okay. Okay, now we will proceed the second formation. Yes. So for all participants in this room, we kindly invite you to stand from your seat for the second group photo. Okay, so all of you face the Zoom screen. Please, everyone, smile to the camera. May I invite the head of study program to joining us to come forward. Okay, thank you very much. Please be seated. Thank you very much for your attending, Professor Rahmat Budiman.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now entering the main session of today's visiting lecture. Today's discussion highlights important perspective on STEM education and early childhood curriculum within Southeast Asian educational context. We are honored to have distinguished scholars from Pangasinan State University, Philippines, sharing their valuable expertise and experience with us. To lead this academic session, it's my pleasure to invite our moderator, Ibu Siti Hadianti, SPD MPD. Please proceed to the stage and kindly lead the session.
Thank you very much, Ibu Suci. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Thank you for the excitement. Okay, distinguished speakers, respected discussants, honorable guests, participants who attend this lecture on site from Teacher Professional Education Program. We usually call you PPG students, right? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, and I have to also greet our online participants, both from UT and also from PSU. Thank you so much for your attendance. My name is Siti Hadianti, and it is my pleasure to serve you as the moderator for today's session. Before we proceed further, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express our sincere pleasure and appreciation for having distinguished guests and speakers from Pangasinan State University, the Philippines, joining us today. My friends, my new friends, Dr. John M. Paul Flores and Miss Larni Biancheta. Magandang hapon. I just searched it today. It translates good afternoon. Yes. Selamat siang. We are very delighted to welcome our colleagues from PSU to share valuable insights and interesting perspectives on education. We hope that this academic collaboration will continue to grow stronger and lead to more meaningful partnerships between our institutions, UT and PSU, in the future. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, after each presentation by the speakers, we will have a discussion session where our invited discussants will provide responses, reflections, and comments related to the topics presented. So we have already here Ibu Titi Chandrawati and also Ibu Andayani together with us. We hope that these discussions will offer deeper perspectives and encourage more engaging academic exchanges. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce our distinguished speakers and discussants for today's session. Our first speaker is Miss Larni Biancheta, Master of Arts in Education. Please come forward, Ibu. Ibu, you may sit here, over here. Miss Ancheta is really surprised that I call her name. Okay, and our second speaker is Dr. John Paul M. Flores. Please join us and also come forward. Yeah, please give big round of applause for him. And don't forget, we will also invite our discussants. Ibu Dr. Andayani MED. Ibu, please come forward. I think she's the most famous here, right? Yeah. It's like everyone, oh, this is my head of study program. Yeah. Okay. And the second discussion is Ibu Dr. Randa Titi Chandrawati, PhD. Please come forward, Ibu. Ibu, you may sit here. All right. So everyone's already here. Before we listen to the presentation, maybe you are curious and want to know, is it your first visit to Indonesia? Oh, sorry, may I have maybe 2 more microphones if you have? Maybe later on we can take turn, yeah, with the microphones. Okay, so is it your first visit to Indonesia?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, it is my first visit here in Indonesia, and it's a pleasure to see you all.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Same with Miss Larnie. It's my first time here in Indonesia. And it's my pleasure to meet all of you, especially the faculty of University Terbuka.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for the applause. They said that it's very windy here at UT, right? Yeah. I'm really happy that you enjoy Indonesia and also UT. Okay, so later on, after the presentation, Ibu Yani and also Ibu Titi, as a discussant, they will give responses, feedbacks, and maybe comments. So we can collaborate, yeah, on the presentation that you have delivered later on. Okay, so I think I will start introducing you for the presentation. Okay, our first speaker will be Miss Larnie B. Anceta. If you pay attention to the name, I asked her before this that we have to say it like because of double A, so Larnie, yes. Okay, Miss Larnie B. Anceta is an educator from Pangasinan State University, the Philippines. So your MAED stands for Master of Arts in Education. Yes, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Anceta has nearly 30 years of teaching experience in both the Philippines and the United States. With expertise, her expertise is in elementary education and also special education. Okay, great. And now she currently serves as an instructor at Pangasinan State University. And if we take a look at her CV, she has so many awards, right? Yes. And today she will deliver a presentation entitled STEM Education in the Elementary School. Okay. The floor is yours, and you can choose if you want to present from here or the podium. Okay. Please give applause for Miss.
Thank you, Ms. Siri, for that very generous introduction. ma'am.
Do you want to use your own pointer, or do you need help from the operator for the slides? Okay.
Selamat siang, Indonesia. That's good afternoon in the Philippines. Mabuhay! Perkenalkan, saya Laarni Ancheta dari Pangasinan State University de Filipina. Senang bertemu dengan kalian semua. Mabuhay! In English translation, that is, allow me to introduce myself. I am Larna Ancheta from Pangasinan State University in the Philippines. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Mabuhay! Everybody say mabuhay! Yes. Okay, so that is myself. And with me is Dr. John Paul Flores, also a faculty of the Pangasinan State University. And before I will proceed, we would like to express our deepest appreciation on behalf of the Pangasinan State University, headed by the President, Dr. Albert M. Galas, the Vice President for the Local and International Affairs, Dr. Renato Salcedo, the Director of the Local and International Affairs, Dr. Lisel M. Del Castillo, the Head of the Mobility Program, it's Dr. Krieger Simbulan. As I've said a while back, Professor John Paul Flores and I would like to extend our deepest appreciation for inviting us over in Universitas Terbuka for the warm accommodation and warm welcome from picking us up at Jakarta by Miss Siri a while back, all the way from Jakarta, and the quick tours, the food. We went to the multimedia center, and oh my God, it's really amazing. We were able to try to have a picture with like the podium over there. And that was so nice. That's an experience we will never forget for the rest of our lives, of course, right? Makasih banyak. Makasih banyak. Actually, I was telling a while back, it's terima kasih, and Miss Siri said, you can just say makasih. Yes, it's like a Gen Z language this time. The Gen Z language, they have to create their own language from the vocabulary. No, I mean in the dictionary. No, they have just to recreate their own. We would also like to express our gratitude to the people who are here, and of course the Universitas Terbuka, headed of course by the Vice Rector for Academic and Student Affairs, Professor Dr. Ramat Budiman, who was online a while back, HUM, PhD. Also the Dean of the Faculty of Education and Training, Teacher Training, Professor Dr. Ocho Rahayu, MSc. The Vice Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Henry Safitri, SPD, MSI. The Dean for Finance, Resources, and General Affairs, Dr. Mystica Winayu, I'm sorry, MPhD. The Dean of Student Affairs, Learning Services, and Cooperation, Dr. Mokti Amni, MPD. My fellow the discussants who are here as well, the heads of the different departments of FKIP, and of course, special thanks to Miss Siri, Dr. Siri, and of course the Faculty of Education for the students, of course, and those who are online. Is that the Zoom link or yes? Yes, and even in the Philippines, I guess we are supporting it. Makasi again, Makasi Banwak. Ano? Makasi Banwak. Am I right? Banyak. I'm sorry. Sorry. Many thanks. Yeah. All right. Maybe we'll have to start with our discussion. Have you been to the Philippines? Oh, not yet as well. Okay, it's just even. But have you heard about Philippines? Or only this time because we are here? Only this time? Oh no, that's good. Well, that's because we have already the social media. It's everything in there. Now, our country is Philippines. If you like to look at the map, you might say, where is Philippines here? Because it's just a little country. If you look at, this is map of Asia. If you look at the blue thing over there, that's Philippines. And the red line there is Indonesia. So if you compare the size, it's like 5 times. Philippines is 5 times, you know. So you mean to say you are a big country. Right. The Philippines is an island country. Why did we say it's an island country? Because it is surrounded by water. It is consists of 7,640 islands. It has 3 big islands, that's Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, but it has other small islands as well. Other islands, you cannot stay there. That number will decrease as well if there is a high tide. When it's high tide, other islands would sink. You cannot see them. When it's low tide, you can see them. Okay, so that's Philippines. So it lies in the Western Pacific Ocean, about 500 miles off the coast of Vietnam, and is bordered by countries such as China, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So the capital city is Manila, while Quezon City is the most populous city in the Philippines. As of 2024, the estimated population is approximately 115,000. Oh no, it's not thousand, I'm sorry. It's million people. In 2026, the recent survey is about 117. So there's already like a difference. Now, the country is known for its tropical beaches, the diverse cultures, and volcanic activity. Okay, this is a glimpse of what you can see in the Philippines. So the first picture there will tell you the snorkeling in the beaches. A lot of beaches you can see in the Philippines. That's the famous, over there is the famous Mayon volcano, known for its nearly perfect cone. You know the ice cream cone? Just like that, yes. It is, just recently, it erupted, just early May, if you were able to see it on Facebook. And people surrounding that surrounds the volcano would have to evacuate for the 6 kilometers radius. So within that, like how far do you have to live? So that's the Mayon volcano. You can also see there like a tower of a church. The church itself was buried in the early times because of the lava that came from the volcano. So There were a lot of people who died on that, and that one is what we call it the Kagsawa ruins. So ruins means they were destroyed. Okay, over here the structural of the churches, the design of the churches in the Philippines. We have a lot of like this. It's because Philippines is the Spaniards came to the Philippines for 333 years. So almost our family names, my family name, his family name came from Spaniards. The celebration came from, we adapted the traditions, cultures of the Spaniard. This is when the volcano erupted. If you can see, the beach here is pink. It's pink. Only in the Philippines. Okay, then this is the famous Boracay. If you have heard of it, it has white sand as well. Fine, powdery sand. That's Philippines. That's Boracay. This is 100 islands. Same thing when it is low tide. You can see all the how you call this, the islands. But if it's high tide, they will sink as well. And this one is in our province, the Pangasinan, the province of Pangasinan. So as you can see, those are only the glimpse, just a little of glimpse from the Philippines. So you're all welcome to visit Philippines. Include them in your bucket list to visit Philippines. Now, what we can see now is the logo of the Pangasinan State University. Sorry. It has lion at the middle. The lion would represent bravery, courage of the Filipinos. Pangasinan State University is a premier public higher education institution in the Philippines, operating across 9 campuses throughout the province of Pangasinan. The university is highly decorated, recognized internationally by quality, management, and institutional excellence. It is located in Lingayen, Pangasinan. It offers wide variety of undergraduate and graduate programs, specializing in agriculture, technology, arts and sciences, education, fisheries, and hospitality. We have fisheries because we're surrounded by water. That's why it's one of the programs there. It is renowned for earning the Philippine Quality Award Level 3 and achieving the gold level recognition of IIP, the Investors in People, and recently we are accredited platinum by the Investors in People. It's Asia's first and only IIP Platinum accredited higher education institution. So that is just a little information about Pangasinan State University. So this is our the map of Pangasinan, the province of Pangasinan. If you can see, it has a resemblance with a lion. Yes. Because it caters all the 9 campuses. All right, I guess that's all for the introduction of our country and our school. Now I have here, it says there, can you guess? Right, 1. Oh, that was so quick. Let us see if her answer is correct. I don't even have given the clue, Wow, that's very good. Yes. Next is, it's giving me a hard time. All right, Conlo got Heyo. Conlo got Heyo. Huh? They said technology. Let us see. You're right. How about this? Engineering. Good job. Mathematics. Yes. All right. If you can see, that's an acronym. We have the STEM. So the question is, what is STEM? All right. Thank you. Please give it. All right, so STEM is an integrated and interdisciplinary approach in learning that connects your right science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So when you say interdisciplinary, it's not only one field of expertise, but it should be two or more. So you integrate. So just say, for example, if you make a robot, you will not just be doing like science or math. You have to calculate as well. If you build a house, you need all of those for you to be able to have an output, or right? So that is, it encourages critical thinking and problem solving and builds 21st century skills for academic and professional success. So let's go to science. As you can see, in science, we observe and do experiments. We focus on evidence and scientific inquiry. We study climate, organisms, health, and physical systems, encourage curiosity and discovery. So, like when you do, say, the climate, of course, you have to research, right? You have to do calculations as well. When will it reach us? And I don't know if there are typhoons here in Indonesia, but in the Philippines we have a lot. We use the letters of the alphabet from A to Z. That's the if it's already like covered all, they will start to A again. That's how much the typhoons are in the Philippines. Technology creates tools that improve efficiency and comfort. So you have gadgets, you have transportation. As we were telling me, Dr. City a while back, we were not able to, we were able to go the Trans Jakarta, and that's an electric bus. And unfortunately, we don't have like that yet in the Philippines. I was telling the dean a while back. It's still an experiment, but we have a lot of transportation. You have the Wi-Fi, the FB, Google account, Microsoft, and many more, WhatsApp. In other words, technology is making our life easy. Am I right? If there is no technology, was not able to translate the Philippine language to the language in Bahasa. So it's giving us, comfort and efficiency. Maybe you have the latest, how you call this, like the iPhones and the cell phones. You have the latest, features and everything. Then relies on science, engineering, math, and will help solve everyday problems. How about engineering? Design, builds, and solutions to problems, applies scientific and mathematical principles, focuses on improving structures and systems. Samples when you build bridges, infrastructure, robotics. Infrastructure in Indonesia is very great. As we were looking at the designs, there are a lot of designs here. We were told that there's like the Dutch came over here. That's why the structural designs of your building are very nice. Even here in Universitas Ohomka, I know, sorry, Universitas Terbuka, the buildings here are really very good. That's the Universitas Terbuka. Yes. I was, I was trying to think what are those. So like a design. So I said, did I Google the right Universitas? Yes, it's true. Universitas Terbuka. Then when we came here, when I saw her, I said, oh, I got it. This is really hard. Yeah, that's this building. Do you see even the designs of the, I call this, the windows? They are very, like unique design. How about in mathematics? It supports science, technology, and engineering, develops reasoning, analytical thinking, encourages logical problem solving, essential in many careers and industries. Math is very important. We don't know the conversion of your money here, rupiah to peso. So we have to count. We have to, to like add or multiply, something like so. It's very important. Math is very important. So if we sum it up, the 4 STEM disciplines are science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What are the 21st century skills that are needed in this STEM education? So we have here the 3 L's, the literacy, life, and learning. So you have in learning, you have the 4 C's. It's the communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity. So it's very important if we communicate, right? It's the world will become chaotic if we will not be understanding each other. That's why it's very essential that we have good communication with each other. Then you have to have the critical thinking, and that is you should have a good judgment. You have the facts, you have the solution, and whatever decision you make, you must have to think it over. Is this what would be the advantage or disadvantage of such? Then you have also the collaboration. When you say collaboration, you have the teamwork, exchange, share ideas, inspire, success. We will attain success if we assist, trust, and of course, we have to support. Then creativity is creating something out of nothing. So the ideas of what you have in mind, you have to put it together for you have to come up with something. This is for the skills for literacy. You have the digital literacy wherein you have the ability to find and select information. And of course, when you have that, you should have a critical thinking and evaluation of what you've been taking from or learning. So that if not, we will be in chaos. Information literacy, why is it important? Yes, because it will enable lifelong learning, development, critical thinking, and informed decision making. Media literacy as well, it is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all forms of information. We have to, if you can see at the other part there, we already have like fake news. So it's very easy to create. We should be careful as well. So we have to think before we click. Think before we click. If you can see here is the 1950s to 1970s. That's classroom. That's the classroom in the Philippines. We use the chalk and board. But this time you have already the science laboratory and you have the digital learning. In the first century skills for life, you have problem solving, self-management, social cultural awareness, technological. All right, so yes. Another skill is that diversity. We should be aware that we are surrounded with different people, race, culture, traditions, and beliefs. So the bottom line is there should be a big R, and that is to respect each one. As you can see here. All right. The STEM education in the elementary school in the Philippines is a fast-growing priority with the government and private initiatives in enhancing curriculum, teacher training, and student engagement to prepare learners for technology-driven future. In the Philippines, STEM is embedded in the basic education curriculum, particularly in science and math at the elementary level. In the Philippines, STEM is not governed by a single comprehensive law. Rather, it is driven by a framework of education and science laws. Now, what are these? So we can see what are the key laws and statutes that would support STEM education. First, we have the Republic Act 12310, that is expanded Philippine Science High School System Act. This mandates the establishment of at least 2 PSHS campuses in every administrative region, broadens access to specialized scholarship-based STEM secondary education for gifted students. Another law is the Fast Track and the Science and Technology Scholarship Act, Republic Act 10612. It aims to strengthen science and mathematics by offering scholarships to college students taking STEM degree. And you have also the Science and Technology Scholarship Act. They provide, this agency or that act would provide financial aids to talented students who are pursuing science and technology undergraduate courses. We have the sector, the Department of Education, senior high school curriculum. This is the core academic strands in the K-12 curriculum. This is designed for students pursuing higher education in engineering, medicine, architecture, and pure sciences. Then we have the institutional mandate. We have the Department of Science and Technology, the DOST, and the Commission on Higher Education. These agencies would grant and prioritize STEM research. So they give funds to, if you have the research about STEM, innovation, faculty development to maintain global competitiveness.
Miss Larni, I'm very sorry. I have to remind you about the time. 10 more minutes for you.
10?
10 more minutes. Okay, thank you.
Be very quick.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So this is the history before we have the Alibaba or the Baybayin. That was the pre-Spanish period. That's how it originated. Then you have the American, wherein the English is our medium of instruction. We start from K to 12, kindergarten or preschool. That's already the English, and American had the contribution in that. It says their English as a medium of instruction, and it emphasizes, there is an emphasis of science and for science, for agriculture, health, and sanitation. Okay, at 2 and 13, at 2 present, it's the K-12 reform. What is this? It strengthens science curriculum for grades 3 to 12 and the spiral progress approach. What does it mean you say spiral progress approach? It would start at the elementary. Topics are just not that a lot yet, but when you go like for third grade, fourth grade, then the topics are getting difficult. Right? That's what we mean when you say a spiral progression approach. This is our landscape. We have the Department of Education and the DOST. They work together. the Department of Education would oversee the basic education curriculum. The Commission on Higher Education would also be overseeing the colleges, the tertiary level, the higher education. And the Department of Science and Technology would have the scholarships for students. However, despite progress, we still have to face the persistent challenges. What are these? Shortage of qualified teachers, outdated laboratory equipment and facilities, large class sizes, especially in public schools, low performance in international assessment, and limited resources. This is the picture of how the classroom looks like in the Philippines. We have a large class. It's like 40 to 50. In Metro Manila, they have 2 shifts, morning and afternoon. The size is 40 to 50 as well. That's how the classes we can see in the Philippines. Students doing classwork, they do experiments. However, they have to sustain the STEM education through how? Through trainings for the teachers. What else? This is how they will do it. The training for teachers. Increase STEM scholarship grants. They give this to the deserving students. So when you say deserving students, they have to qualify for the test, the interview, their grades, their previous grades, or when they were in high school or in the elementary. Now, these reforms aim to address gaps and prepare students for an innovation-driven economy. Okay, so why STEM is important? Because it builds creativity, collaboration, and communication, develops technology and leadership, prepares students for future careers, and helps students become successful and productive members of the society. So this is just to let you know that the robotics in the Philippines, some schools, they joined and they were able to garner gold medalists, silver medals in Baguio City, and because how they do it, because they are teachers of training. They share what they have the training they have shared. They have to share it. Then these are the pictures of the students who won. For the first place at the Robo Sports category, the Team Philippines for winning first place for the World Robot Olympiad Finals 2025, just November. Okay, what are our best practices? Inquiry-based, collaborative partnerships, mentorships and scholarship, and continuous teacher development. So the last parts of my slides would be, the presentation would be, these are the simple STEM activities for elementary students. So what are these? You can have the nature walk, the engineering with the fairy tales, paper airplane challenges. In the paper airplane challenges, you can do like folding, and that's design, math as well, buoyancy. In science, you explore distance, speed, and flight patterns. Then you have the engineering with index cards. You can try that to the students. Egg drop challenge, architecture challenge as well. They will be creating their own stuffed toys. Then the tallest structure challenges, student created STEM challenges, or you can have the classroom invention challenges. Now, before I end, I would like to share to you what Mahatma Gandhi said, that be the change that you wish to see in the world. It is very imperative that we need to embrace change. Even though there are technologies, the improvement of technology, we have other changes. If we will not embrace them, it's all futile. It's all useless. So the change will begin within ourselves and be the change that you wish to see in the world. Because if we do that, we create a positive and positive transformation in the world. Again, if we do that, we create a positive transformation in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Larni. Please once again give a round of applause to our speaker. Thank you very much, Ms. Larni, for your insightful presentation on STEM education in elementary school. Actually, your presentation is actually quite relevant with today's situation. And especially, it's very interesting how you provide example for simple STEM activities for elementary students. I think that will be very beneficial for the students, teacher here, because they will teach students. So maybe later on you can share more on maybe the PowerPoint to the students or also the activities. Yes, okay, thank you so much. Now, to enrich our discussion and provide further reflection on the topic presented, we will invite Ibu Dr. Andayani MED, the head of the Teacher Professional Education Program, to have maybe comments, suggestions, feedbacks, anything as a response to the presentation delivered by Ms. Larni. The floor is yours, Ibu Yani. Please give applause for Ibu Yani.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Alhamdulillah, thanks to God that give us the opportunity to come in this room. Honorable speakers, Miss Lani and Bapak John Paul from the Philippines, Deans and Vice Deans. Honorable Vice Rector in Academic Affairs. Hello, Pak Professor Ahmad. And also the head of the study programs and dear my students of the UT Teacher Professional Programs who are present here, and also our colleagues who see us online. I am as a discussion as a dean talk to me. I want to just fast because the time I was just to talk about the STEM in Indonesia perspective. Maybe with our talk, Indonesia and Philippines, we can comparison and share something that can give the opportunity to the students the advantage of the STEM approach. Yeah, for me, STEM is not subject matter. For me, STEM is such kind of approach or strategy that's not separated with other. So STEM is not a subject matter, but STEM is a strategy that can bring children grow and ready in facing the problem in this 21st century, I think, with their scientific mind. I want to tell a little bit about the implementation of STEM in some primary school that I know surround the South Tangerang. Yes, of course, STEM implementation in Indonesian elementary school is carried out through contextual project-based problem-solving learning activities that is brought into daily life problems. For example, in South Tangerang, I saw that STEM integrate with eco-pedagogy. Maybe the student of teacher profession program here had experiences with when you doing teaching practice in your school surround South Tangerang. Maybe later you can tell us about your experience about STEM. Yes, STEM is highly relevant with connected the environmental educations because environmental issues, as you know, are closely related to students' daily life. The activities is like school garbage management project, simply hydroponic systems, compositing projects, and recycling activities, observing plant and weather conditions. These goals are students have developing environmental awareness, building ecological responsibility, and encouraging sustainability learning practices. And the second, the implementation STEM in primary school in South Tangerang that I see, STEM integrate with ethnopedagogy. STEM can also be integrated with local culture and indigenous knowledge through ethnopedagogy. For example, when at school, children have a project designing India traditional houses with STEM integration with science aspect, learning how traditional building materials in technology aspect, using simple design tools, and engineering aspect is constructing house structures, and we can insert math. It can be calculating scale, symmetry, and measurement. That I saw in school in Tangerang Selatan here surrounding here. However, I still meet a challenge are still faced in implementing STEM in elementary school, particularly surrounding me, such as limited educational facilities in many schools, lack of teacher readiness in STEM integration, and unequal access to technology across region teacher-centered learning practices. And this is our homework together to solve this problem. And the next issue that I want to a little bit tell about how STEM for special need in primary school, because Miss Lani said that she is focused on special needs education. So this is very challenging school. But since there was a policy for public schools in Indonesia, we should, the school in Indonesia should accept children with special needs. This has made teachers more creative, of course, and productive in thinking about designing universal learning to mix the special needs students and other students. The universal design learning is provide multiple ways of engagement and expression for diversity of children development. UDL also provide differentiated instruction how teacher should adjust activities, materials, and assessment tools according the students' need. And also peer collaboration, not among students, but also among the teacher, and of course the flexible assessment. I think the key of success of universal design learning is teacher. Teacher is the main key. They should have the ability to design inclusive and contextual STEM activities. Misalnya, I don't know in Philippines. How about in Philippines? There is a special need student in regular school. Yeah, I don't know, maybe we can discuss later. And also the other key that the school is it is important. School provide the inclusive environment and also accessible resources such library and open space for many activities. And also important is parents, I think. They should support learning at home and strengthen the children motivation. Parent is important. Am I right? Are you agree with me? Okay, and this is my last description. I'd like to say that STEM implementation in Indonesia in Battery School is carried out through contextual and project-based learning that connects science and technology with students' real life experience. But it must be balanced with teachers' skill and also support from school and parents. I hope Indonesia and the Philippines can cooperate more in exploring STEM to prepare children in elementary school for life in the 21st century, because we are close a neighbor actually. Thank you for this occasion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Ibu Dr. Andayani, for your response to Miss Larni presentation. I think it's very nice to hear and Miss Annie describe the situation here, especially in South Tangerang. So we can compare the situation with the one in the Philippines. Okay. So before we move to the next presentation, I have to remind the audience that we will have Q&A session in the end of all of the presentations. Please prepare your questions, okay? And also the audience who join online, also prepare your questions. You can also do it on the chat box, or maybe later on we will give you opportunity through the raise hand feature if you want to ask questions. But especially all of you here in the on-site together with us in the room, we're really looking forward to your questions here to the speakers. Okay, so let's move to the next presentation. Are you excited? Okay, so our second speaker is Dr. John Paul M. Flores from Pangasinan State University of Philippines. Mr. Flores, or we can call you John. Yes, Dr. John. Dr. John is fine, okay? He's an experienced educator in early childhood education and currently serves as an instructor at PSU. He graduated from PSU, so your bachelor, master, and doctoral degree from PSU. You love PSU so much, yeah. Okay. And Dr. John has 6 years experience in teaching, and he also awarded as a national top-notcher for licensure examinations for teachers. Yes, great. And today he will share his presentation entitled The Main Curriculum of Early Childhood Education in the Philippines Education System. The floor is yours. Please give a big round of applause one more time.
Hello. Okay, so before I'll be discussing the slides, allow me to give my warmest appreciation, of course, to our university president, Dr. Albert Galas, to the vice president of local international linkages of Pangasinan State University, Dr. Renato E. Salcedo, together with the whole team of the VP LIA, or the linkages, international and local linkages, because without them, Ms. Laarne and I would not be able to come here at Indonesia. And of course, allow us to also extend our sincere appreciation to Universitas Terbuka, headed by the Vice Rector for a while. Allow me to read it correctly. I might pronounce it differently or read it differently. Professor Dr. Ramat Budiman, M.Ham, PhD, Dean of the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Professor Dr. Uchu Rahayo, MSc, Vice Dean for Academics, Dr. Henry Sapitri, SPD, MSI, Vice Dean for Finance, Resources and General Affairs, Dr. Mastika Sekarwinayu, MPD, Vice Dean for Student Affairs, Learning Services and Cooperation, Dr. Mukti Amini, MPD, the head of the departments of the FKIP, and of course, the moderator for today's session, Professor Siti, and the equally brilliant and of course with us today, the discussant from the Universitas Terbuka. Allow me again to read the name. I might be pronouncing it differently for a while. Dr. Titi Chandrawati, MED, PhD, and Dr. Andayani, MED. Okay, so maybe you are wondering why you are to hear a lecture on early childhood, and typically this course is for, according to Dr. Titi, it's female, but it's not that typical to see a male discussing this very topic of the early child education, or could they say it PD PAUD? PD PAUD. Okay, so before we discuss the curriculum of the Philippine early child education system, focusing on the early childhood, we have to know first, what is this early child all about? Okay, so I be maybe skipping the introduction. That is me. Hayaan mo na. Yes, skip that. Okay. Because it's been introduced by Dr. Professor Siti earlier. So this is the very question. What is it all about early childhood education? Okay, so let's try to ponder the very question. What is all about early childhood education? Don't you worry, we'll be discussing this in 30 minutes or so. Okay, so what's all about early childhood? Okay, so I'll not be anymore asking people here. So maybe that's a thought for reflection later on. And of course, the other question that I prepared here is, what is all about the Philippine early childhood education? Okay, let's try to look into the Philippine early childhood education. Okay, so I have here the PSC text. That is how we do it. How the university, Pangasinan State University, course through with the program, early childhood education. So as you can see there, we have random pictures. Our students is teaching in the CDC, or the Child Development Centers. They are also the one who is donning the mascot, and they created the mascot themselves. That is SpongeBob. And that's me. And of course, as you can see, together with the faculty, are the teachers of the professors of the early childhood program at a community on Sison, Pangasinan, that is near the boundary of our province. We are talking with the parents. So why parents? Later on, you will know about that one. Okay, so we also have there the instructional materials that is being donated to the child development centers and kindergartens, and that is proudly made by our student. That is their output. We ensure that it has undergone quality checking before donating it, because we want it to be of use to their CDCW, or the Child Development Center workers. And of course, these are the children of the CDC. So this picture is lifted from our extension activity. Okay, and also we have this one. This is on the elementary. We are having a learning immersion, and of course a learning sessions with the grades 1 kinder to grade 3. So this is the materials that we donated to Amagbagan Integrated
Amagbagan, Pangasinan. And we also have this one. This is a open house exhibit of the instructional materials that we have donated. So these are our numeracy materials. And of course, this one. This is for use in classrooms. This is a instructional material cake divided into many parts to teach fraction. We have that one. We also have the recognition of the Philippine bills and coins. This one. We have there also the snake and ladder, but we make it about numeracy. And this is their dice. And of course, we have, again, literacy materials as well as numeracy materials, because this is our two of the core focus of the early child education in the Philippine early child curriculum. Okay, so let's now talk about what is early childhood education. So if you are going to look into the Philippine ECE, is simply known as the early years. So it's the early years. And of course, these are the critical foundation for the lifelong learner. To mind you, in the early years learning, we have there what we call the formative years. And what is it, formative years? That is the first 8 years of life. So what does it want to mean? It only want to mean that the formative years is ranging from ages 0, so that is birth, until the age of 8. But I was amazed when I found out that here in Indonesia, you have what you call your golden years. And that is the first 6 years. But in the Philippines, we have it the first 8 years. And that is also included in the legal basis we have. That is the RA 10410, or known as the Early Years Act of 2010. So they are considering that the first 8 years of life is the formative years. So what does it want to imply further? It wants to imply further that early childhood education will revolve on that first 8 years of life. So if you are going to look into, then what would be the coverage then of this first 8 years of life? So we have there the 2 divisions. So what are the 2 divisions? We have there the ages 3 to 5. Hello? Or maybe I'll be using this one. Okay, the ages 3 to 5, that is for the CDC. In the Philippines, before you no, it's not a mandatory one. If you want to enter education without, or if you want to enter education and you don't have yet the right age, then you could enter the CDC. We call that one Child Development Center that is under the manning of the local government unit. So we have there for ages 3 to 5. Again, it is being run by the local government unit, not the national one. And that is optional for the students or for the learners ages 3 to 5. So if you are the parent, you want to enroll your children to CDC, it's okay. If you don't want to enroll your children in the CDC, it's also okay. Because that is, again, the 3 to 5 that is under, again, the LGU is particularly the ECCD, or known as the Early Childhood Care and Development Council. So that is the ages 3 to 5. And of course, we have also the ages 5 to 8 actually, but I put there only 5. Why? Take note of the very age that is what's the age again? 5. That's for kindergarten. And in the DepEd, in the Philippines, we have again that very law. And what is that law? Under the law, RA 10533, or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, and the RA 10157, the Kindergarten Act, it is stated there that kindergarten is mandatory. So what does it mean? No one will able to complete their education without undergoing kindergarten. So everyone should have to undergo kindergarten. Sir, is it really required? Yes, it is by the law. It is not made by people, but it's by the law. The law stated there that everyone should be able to enter complete kindergarten before proceeding to grade 1. So you will not be admitted to grade 1. And of course, no grade 1, no intermediate, no junior high school, no senior high school, no college level if you didn't enter kindergarten. It is a prerequisite for you to gain a higher level of learning.
So for you to be able to step the basic education and of course to the higher education, you should be able to complete your kindergarten. And that is age 5 years old. Sir, it is possible. Is it possible for a 4-year-old to enter kindergarten? Technically, by the law, it's no. That's why if you don't have yet, if you are not yet on the right age, you can enter this one. And that is, again, the CDC, manned by the Early Childhood Care and Development Council. But since the Department of Education having difficulty with regards to estimation of the age, there is, again, that DepEd issuance that if you will be turning 5, so turning 5, approximately turning 5, within 3 months, before after the start of the school year, then you will be allowed to enter kindergarten. So what does it mean? If you are turning 5, as long as within the 3-month period after the start, you will be admitted. But if you are just turned 4, you want to enter kindergarten, or your children, you want to enroll your children in kindergarten, just turned 4 cannot. They should be at least 5 or turning 5, and that is again by the law. So we have there 2 laws, the RA 10533, that's our K-12 program in the Philippines, and we have 10157. 10157 is known as, again, the kindergarten law. So that is, again, the 2 major divisions with regard to the early child education in the Philippines. Again, I'll be repeating, there are 2 divisions. What is the first division? That is 3 to 5 under, again, ECCD, CDC. Local government unit. And of course, we have their ages 5 or 5 to 8 that is under the national government unit. In what agency? Department of Education. So in the kindergarten, no one would be able to step grade 1 without completing kindergarten. And each of the learner, as early as kindergarten, are given a unique tracking code. And we call that one as LRN. So what is that LRN? Learner's Reference Number. And that LRN will be your permanent LRN until you complete your basic ed. So without LRN, you will not be earning your basic education. When I say basic education, that is your kindergarten, elementary. In the Philippines, we have junior high school and senior high school. You will not be able to earn your diploma without having your LRN, because your LRN should be given as early as kindergarten. So if you didn't enter kindergarten, no LRN, no record. So if you do that one, then maybe you are just having maybe a practice only. You will be completing your degree and it's your basic ed practice only. Why? Because you didn't have your LRN. Each LRN is unique. And you will be carrying that from kindergarten until you finish your basic ed grade 12. Okay, next one. There is the delay. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so what is the focus of the early child education curriculum? Okay, so the focus is simply, we have their holistic development. Okay, why holistic development? Because we don't need learned monsters. Why? Because when I say learned monsters, you may be knowledgeable, but you are not human enough. You don't have the heart. You are not considerate to people. You are not kind. We don't need robots. We want human. We want human being. And when I say human being, they should be man of knowledge, man of skills, man of virtues. And that is what matters the most. So there should be, the fulcrum point there is that as you become a more learned individual, as you become more intelligent, more and more skilled, it should go with it the character. That's why character building is vital in the curriculum of the early childhood, especially in the CDC and in the kindergarten programs or in the kindergarten levels. That's why it says here, it's not just academic readiness. Why? Because we all know all of schools, not only the Philippines, even in Indonesia, Singapore, everyone promotes academic readiness. But I don't know if all of us is promoting holistic development. I will not be telling there is only few because I don't even know the accurate statistics, but I could say there are those who really focus only on academic readiness. And I believe Philippines and Indonesia share the same language, share the same focus, and we want to cultivate not only a learned individual, we want to cultivate, again, an individual who is steeped with values, who has the virtue, who are human. It has, again, the knowledge, the skills, the attitudes, and of course, the character. And again, the early childhood wants to promote holistic development. We want to nurture the whole child. And it covers the following area: physical. When I say physical, it includes the health. That's why, as early as young learners, consider their health. Part of their activity should be gearing toward health. Are they able to walk around, to exercise their body so that they could perspire and be healthy? And of course, the activities, gross motor, fine motor, are they able to really use their large muscles and their fine muscles? So are they really to running, walking, and of course playing? And always remember this, kindergarten, early childhood, their language of learning is simply play. They express themselves more natural through play. Because if you contain them in a classroom, everything will be falsified. Why? Because that is conditioned. But if you let them play, you could discover the reality about them. And it is, again, makes early childhood teaching interesting because you are able to understand the reality, why the child behaved this way. Then you need to observe. Okay, you really need to observe. And of course, there is social interaction. So in social interaction, as early as, again, young learners, as early as ages 3, you have to cultivate their, not only their ability to learn and of course to move their body, but also to interact with people. Because they are, again, human being. And of course, together with the social, they are, again, 2 in 1. They should be cultivated together, emotional. Why? They should be able to really carry out themselves in front of other people. That's why they should be able to know who they are, know their attitudes, know their, again, their, how do you call it, their patience, their tolerance, and the likes. That's why in the Philippines, we always term this too as socio-emotional. We are not separating them. Because when you cultivate the social, you should be cultivating also the emotional aspect. They should always be 2 in 1. You cannot say, I will only be cultivating social. No. You have to cultivate social along with emotional, social-emotional development. And of course, we have their cognitive. And cognitive is, we all have on academics, readiness. For us to be knowledgeable of everything that we need to know. And no question about that, because all schools, not only the Philippines, even here in Indonesia and even other countries, we are all having the commonality with that one, cognitive, for us to be learned individual. But I don't think so for this last one, moral, because we really need to cultivate values. Good thing, Indonesia, Philippines share the same. We cultivate moral development. But I don't know for other countries. I will not be speaking for them because I will be speaking for what I know, and that is Philippines. And of course, if you're going to look into this area, there is one thing that is missing there. And what is that one? What dimension is missing? The one that is not ideally to be taught as a separate subject, but it would be, again, integrative. And what is that? Creativity. So as early as a young learner, creative development is important. So if you are going to have activities for physical development, you have to be creative so that the learner will also be creative. Even in the social-emotional, creativity in creating a scene, a dialogue, or maybe in creating activities and a situation. As well as the moral and the cognitive. And also, in the Philippines, to mind every one of you, yes, it is, again, important dimension. And the good thing in the Philippine curriculum, for the moral development, we treat it as 2 things. Number 1, what's the first one? It is a separate subject. So there is a separate subject for moral development. And we have that in the early years as the GMRC. But before, there is a GMRC. What is that? Values education. Or in the Filipino context, we term it ESP, Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao. While in English English counterpart, that is VE, Values Education. And now, because of the shift in the curriculum, it's not anymore Values Ed, it's not anymore ESP, it is already, again, GMRC. And what is the GMRC? Good manners and right conduct. that is for the moral development. So we are teaching it as a separate subject, and not only as a separate subject. We are also integrating it across all the domains. That's why how we treat moral dimension is two ways: as a separate subject and as an integrative component. We have to be mindful that whenever we teach physical activity, what are the values that they are going to get there? And there, especially in the cognitive mathematics, if you are going to teach division, what would be the values that you are going to cultivate there? Isn't it sharing? And we are going to what? To make all of those values learned, appreciated by the learner. Why? That is how we contextualize everything. That's how we could relate everything that the learner has to learn with what they know and what they have experienced. That's why moral development is, again, it's taught in two distinct ways, and that is one as a separate subject, and the second one that is as an integrative component of all the domains. So when I say integrative component, as together with creativity, you could have their physical creativity and values or moral. You could have their social, emotional creativity and moral. You can also have their cognitive, moral, and creativity. Then you can also there have moral development as it is, as a separate subject. So that's how we promote holistic development. That's how the early child curriculum operates in the Philippines. And of course, the legal foundation, this is what makes kindergarten mandatory. We have there, sorry, maybe it is being, it says their kindergarten is mandatory. That is by the virtue of the RA 1015-7. So in the Philippines, but Dr. Ratiti would mention earlier, here in the Indonesia, it is not mandatory. Is it right, ma'am? It's not mandatory here. Okay, well, in the Philippines, it's really mandatory. No one will be able to advance without completing kindergarten because that's a law. And we cannot have, we cannot do anything about that. Okay, next. The first year of formal schooling for all 5 years of age. That's why it's very definite. It should be 5 years old. Or it could be possible turning 5 within 3 months after the start of the class. Because it says there October. So typically it starts, the calendar starts at August or sometimes July or earlier now, maybe June. So with that very rule, they should have to stick with that. Turning 5 or already 5 years of age. Just turned 4 cannot. They cannot enter kindergarten. So where they should enter? The CDC, Child Development Center under the ECCD local government unit. And of course...
Dr. John, I'm afraid I have to remind you, 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we also have there the, again, kindergarten, they start off the K-12 curriculum. So we have to, again, be mindful that if you talk about the Philippine curriculum, it is not true that the start is grade 1. No, we have the start of the formal schooling is kinder. By the virtue of, again, RA 10533. And what is that? The K-12. So that is what we have in the Philippines, K-12. So kindergarten plus the 12 years of schooling. So kindergarten plus grade 1 until grade 12, making it 13 years in the basic education. And of course, universal access, because anyone is given the access. When I say anyone, regardless of who you are, whether you're rich or poor, male, female, in the far-flung area, last mile, in the mountains, I don't know where you come from, you are welcome to enter kindergarten. Why? Because we want inclusivity. Like Indonesia, we foster inclusivity. We don't want that there are individuals being set aside. Okay, so it also aligns with the national learning standards. And of course, and if we are going to look into the national learning standards, we have this very framework. And what is that? We have the NELF. So what is the NLEF? That is the National Early Learning Framework created by ECCD. And it is started as early as CDC and continuing until kindergarten to grade 3. And we term that one as the key stage 1 of learning. So in the key stage 1, everything should be resonating with the NELF. So what does it mean? That all the curriculum, all the activities, all the topics, all the lesson to be taught should be anchored on the NELF. If it's not anchored in the NELF, then it is not allowed that curriculum to be implemented. It is not okay for you to teach the subject if it doesn't resonate on the NELF. Why? Because the NELF already identified what are the expectations. What are the standards that you need to come up with your plan in order so that when you learner demonstrate the activities, you are really targeting the standards. Because that's already standards. What you are going to do is tailor everything in accordance with that standard. It's just like they already given you the standard. What you're going to do is to realize the standard. So what you have to do, you have to ensure that everything is aligned with the standard. And of course, this is started again from the CDC. So that is from 3 to 5 and continuing from K to 3, or that is ages 5 to 8. So it is a unified. So why unified? Because the Philippines is an archipelagic nation. There are many CDC and kindergarten across the Philippines to ensure that everyone teaches the same, everyone adhere on the same standard, then we follow the NELF. So in crafting the topics, in crafting the activities, everything should be compared against the standards set forth by the NELF. That is again the National Early Learning Framework. And of course, the core learning approaches of the NELF, this is the most important that you need to remember, it should be play-based. So if the curriculum of kindergarten, of early childhood, of CDC is not including play, it's boring. So there should be play. Why? The language of the child is play. How they learn is through play. How they express themselves through play. So make everything play-based. Curriculum should be play-based. If you don't know what to do, imagine what you have to do. But as long as it should be play-based, it is not okay for you to say, I will be teaching just like what I used to know. Because the language of early childhood is different from the language of intermediate levels. Because again, the expression is different because more children, young learners like to play. And that is their natural tendencies. Play, play, and play. And of course, this one, I'm very critical with that. Developmentally appropriate. It is not enough to be valid. Why? When I say valid, authentic, correct. However, are you sure that that is within the capacity of your learner? Because we should not be looking only on, again, on the validity of the topics. It should be within the capacity of the student. Are you expecting a 1-year-old to play volleyball? Are you expecting a 1-year-old to play basketball? No. Why? Yes, even the activity is valid, even the activity is authentic, is it appropriate? So the question here is now appropriateness. So everything that we are going to give our learners should be appropriate within their levels, within their age, within their ability. And of course, you have to consider if are they exceptional or are they normal? Why? Because that is part of the language of inclusivity. You should be able to consider everyone. When I say everyone, all of them, regardless of who they are, whether they're exceptional or normal, whether they are rich or they are poor, or what are the things that you have to imagine there with regards to inclusivity. Okay, then we have also this one, inclusive. Inclusive. And inclusive means all. Not only the very idea that in the Philippines there is a misconception with regards to inclusivity. They always consider only inclusivity if there is exceptionality. No, that is not the only definition of inclusive education. It should be inclusive all. Okay, next. The key guiding principles of the ECE curriculum. That's why, look at the first one, family. That is the reason why family holds a vital role in the early childhood education curriculum. Why? Because in the other countries, especially in Japan, there are what we call a shadow. You know what is shadow? Shadow teachers? Assistant. There are assistant teachers, but in the Philippines, we don't have. What we have? Parents. The parent is functions as the shadow teachers. No, they are not teachers, but they are the shadows. They are the assistant through volunteerism. That's why in the Philippines, parents' role is looking into parents are given a vital role, especially in the early childhood and kindergarten. They should be volunteering more and more to be able to help their children. Because it is not like, again, other countries that we can afford to pay for a shadow teacher or assistant. But in the Philippines, assistants are the parents through volunteerism work. Okay, then we also have their inclusion and equity. I will not be speaking much on that. It's been discussed earlier. Again, inclusive, everyone. And of course, equity. Equity is what matters the most in the language of inclusion. What does that mean to say? It want to mean that you will not be giving equal support to people because the other one needed more support. That is what is meant by equity. If he need more support, then it is okay that you give them more support while the other give them less support to ensure that the end goal should be they are at the same level. That is what how equity works, especially in the Philippines. Because if both of the students, you give them equal resources, then that's only equality. What if the other one needs more? So what you're going to do, adjust the resources, give it to the people needing it more. And that is again, equity. And we have cultural responsive learning. Because Philippines is again a country that is a melting pot of every races, different cultures, different religion. We have to be mindful with that one. Because enshrined with the Constitution of the Philippines, that the Filipinos are the trustees of their own cultural heritage, that we are the trustees. So what does it mean? We are the one to promote our culture. So therefore, to be able to promote culture, you have to teach culture. So therefore, as early as young learners, integrate culture. And how you are going to do that? Every activities, every lessons, every material should be culturally responsive. So what do we need to do there? One language. What is that? Contextualization. So you need to contextualize. When I say contextualization in the Philippine context, how we do that? We do that through what? Localizing the materials and the learning resources. And of course, being able to penetrate the lives of the people using the local resources. So it's not enough that you're going to use the material. That the material should be relevant to the lives and practices and even culture of the people. So is it part of their lives? Does it something to do with how they perform their day-to-day activities? If then so, then that is already contextualization. It is not only limiting on the use of the material. It is more than the use of material. It is how you are ensuring that the material is again relevant and being used by the people of the community. And that is again culturally responsive learning. Again, contextualization. And do we have still more? I guess this is still more. Okay, the kindergarten curriculum framework. I had 2 minutes. Okay, so it's the official guide for teaching and learning in the Philippine public private kindergarten program. So this one is again covering all private and public. Why? Because in the Philippines, it's okay to have many private kindergarten as long as you follow the same standard. That's why accreditation and standardization is the thing that you need to do, and of course, to really prepared for, especially if you are a private institution. If you are a private entity wanting to run a kindergarten, wanting to run your own school, you have to comply with the licensing requirement. And it's not that easy to comply because it should be accredited by Department of Education. So this framework defines everything what you're going to do, what the children should know, feel, and of course, what the learner should be able to learn at the end of the kindergarten program. Okay, so again, it is on the K-12 framework, plus we have there the NELF, you combine it together. That is again the guiding philosophy that underlies how you should evaluate and look into the curriculum of early childhood education in the Philippines, is starting from the ECCD 3 to 5, CDC, under the local government, towards, again, the national government, kindergarten to 8 years of age. And that is, again, kindergarten to grade 3, key stage 1 in learning. Okay. So it is for 5 years old learner. It is for teachers of kindergarten, and of course, it is for program designers and the policy makers. Why? So that everyone will be guided, especially them, the program designers and policy makers, because we all know that the future of the country resides on the quality of education that the learners is having. And of course, given the idea that the first 8 years of life is the foundational years or the formative years, then we have to invest in the young learners. Do not take it as, okay na ang pwede na in the Filipino language, or let it be. Don't take it that way, or don't treat it that way. There is, again, the power lies in the early childhood education. Okay? So these are the goals. Again, it's been discussed earlier. You want complete, holistic individual. So again, the dimensions, social, emotional readiness, and of course, literacy and numeracy, and the values and independence. This is non-negotiable values. Okay, the social readiness, this one, the teaching of the Filipino culture, pakikisama, pagmamahal, love, and care. And of course, emotion expression. So it is not only a skill. It is really rooted in the values of being Filipinos. And of course, the sense of self and the big word there, belongingness. There should be belongingness. Why? Because we are cultivating human person. Okay. So holistic, this is the summary, holistic development, cultural rootedness, and of course, school readiness. And of course, the role of the family is vital, inform, involve, empower. So that the parents should be informed, that the parents should be involved, and the parents should be empowered. Why? They are assistants. They are volunteers. They are there to help the teachers. And this is again, the Philippine K-12 curriculum, anchoring on what has been discussed. Holistic Development Plus, the 21st century learner, but this time we'll be focusing only on the soft skills. Not the one discussed by Ms. Laarni, but this is again on the soft skill. Collaboration, teamwork, camaraderie, and the likes. Even critical thinking is included. And of course, culturally relevant. And this is how you integrate it. I've mentioned this earlier. CDC, ECCD, kindergarten, elementary, grades 1 to grade 6, and they're the junior and the senior high school. So that's how the Philippine educational system look like. And of course, it's the matatag. This is the implemented last year with the mantra, bansang makabata, batang makabansa. So they want that the country is supportive about children, and of course, nationalistic children. Bansang makabata, batang makabansa. Diba? And that is again, country that is pro-children and a child that is nationalistic. And the focus of these topics, literacy. That's why, as I presented earlier, the materials is literacy. What more? Numeracy. And of course, good manners and right conduct. The three fulcrum points or topics or subjects that is under the K-12 matatag curriculum, literacy, numeracy, manners, or known as the GMRC. Okay, so that's it. And of course, before I'll be ending, early child education is not preparation for school. It is a school of life where curiosity, character, and confidence are born. So this investment made in the children's earliest years echo through every grade level and every stages of life, because without focusing on formative years, no successful individuals, no successful people or person, because in the Philippines, we believe that the foundation years are the early childhood. The first 8 years of life is again the formative years. So with that note, terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Dr. John. Let's take a deep breath, okay? We get very excited by listening only to your presentation. You're very on fire. Like, we're trying to absorb everything because so much information and knowledge you have delivered to us. So once again, let's give big applause for Dr. John. Okay, So I think your presentation highlight many important things, especially in early childhood education in the Philippines. That's very interesting how the role in the family, and of course I think everyone is very happy learning Philippines language, Filipino. Yeah, and maybe later on we can repeat again the matatag. Okay, now to further enrich our discussion and deepen our understanding on the topic, we will proceed to the discussion session. It is my pleasure to invite Ibu Titi Chandrawati. She is a lecturer in the Early Childhood Education Department, and Dr. Titi will provide responses, reflections, and comments related to the presentation delivered by Dr. John. So, Ibu Titi, the floor is yours. Do you want to be in the podium or sit here? Okay, okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon to all my colleagues and also to all of my students, whether it is in online or in offline place, yeah. And also, thank you for Dr. John Paul M. Flores for your very, very interesting presentation that make us really watching you. I am okay. Your presentation doesn't only give us an academic blueprint of your country's educational policies, but also beautifully showcases the heart of how the Philippines nurtures its future generation holistically. I'm sorry if I'm just sitting here, yeah. Okay, and also, how about the audience? Are you still waking up? Okay. From Dr. John Paul M. Flowers' presentation, we can highlight three outstanding pillars, such as, like the first pillar is how strong legislative backing and systematic transition. In the Philippines has a highly robust legal framework initiated by the Kindergarten Act, that is RA 10157, and that making 1 year of preparatory kindergarten compulsory for 5 years olds before entering grade 1. The structure handoff between the ACCD Council ages 0 to 4 and the Department of Education age 5 shows a highly organized systematic approach to child development. From this presentation, we know that this structural clarity ensures an equal starting line for all children, regardless of socioeconomic background before their transition to formal primary school. That is the grade 1, yeah. The second pillar is culturally responsive pedagogy. This presentation shows us that it is highly commendable to see how localized cultural values like familia bilang foundation or family as the foundation, that's all the parents really very important, yeah. And also pakikisama or interpersonal harmony or getting along, and also pak mamahal or compassion or love are deeply woven into the National Early Learning Framework or NELF. So this is a true educational quality that is never detached from cultural roots. Your presentation demonstrated how the Philippines successfully bridges Western theories such as GAP, DAP, with indigenous Filipino communal values. The third pillar is pragmatism of the Matatak curriculum reform. So the newly implemented Matatak curriculum reform is a bold, pragmatic response to post-pandemic learning loss and curriculum overload. So by decluttering the curriculum, it centers early education around three dispensable foundation, that is literacy, numeracy, and good manners and right conduct. So rather than overwhelming young minds with complex academic milestone, the Matata curriculum bravely shifts the focus back to basic cognitive foundation and character building. And this is the important thing, the comparison between the Philippines and Indonesian educational system. In Philippines, the kindergarten is a must, is a mandatory, but not in our Indonesian education. Like in Indonesia, kindergarten is not a mandatory, but it's only recommended. Yeah, and also the age. If you focus on the 3 to 4, and then 5. In our country, we divided the stages of the early childhood education between 3 to 4, like A class, and also 5 to 6 to B class. Yes. And also, but the focus, like on basic literacy, numeracy, and character that you mentioned, also we have that. Yeah. What we call our curriculum is curriculum merdeka, or independence curriculum. The goals is to simplify material to focus on essential competencies, and it try to make the teachers, kindergarten teachers, to do the teaching with flexibility according to their local area and something like that. And the difference about values integration, in your presentation, you express through local cultural pillars like pamilia, pakikisima, and pakikisama, and also pakmamahal. Yeah. In our Indonesian education, we try to make the education based on the Pancasila, the 5 sila. Like there is a 5 points, that 5 characters that should be owned by the students. Yeah. So we call it profil pelajar Pancasila. So the Pancasila student. So in Pancasila student, there's a faith, global diversity, and mutual cooperation. And about the primary school transition, you said that it's institutionalized via mandatory kindergarten at age 5. Yes, but here we don't have that. But the government try to manage the what's policies. I forget the English language. Yeah, we try to manage the transition. We call it the transition from kindergarten or early childhood education to elementary school, and it should be not should be make it happy, make the student happy, make the student like to learn, something like that. Yeah. So we have that movement, and also there is like a holistic integrative approach, just to make the kindergarten, or actually we not only have the term kindergarten, we also have the term like education, early education. That is non-formal education, non-formal early childhood education. And in kindergarten, we call it formal early childhood system. And The last statement is there is a striking, beautiful harmony between the high direction of our two nations, both the Matatak reform in the Philippines and Curriculum Merdeka in Indonesia. We recognize that a cluttered curriculum is counterproductive for young learners. So we are both shifting away from rigid rote learning, moving instead toward meaningful play-based literacy, basic numeracy, and deep-seated character development. Thank you very much, Pak John.
Okay, thank you so much, Ibu Titi. That's, I think, a very comprehensive comparison between the Philippines and Indonesia, especially in the early childhood education policies. And I really hope that we all get the same insights. And yeah, we can also learn from the Philippines. And maybe if there are something good from us, yeah, maybe the Philippines education can also observers, of course. Yeah. Okay, so now we will proceed to the question and answer session. Okay, so for all of you who would like to ask questions, whether you are joining us on site or online, please feel free to participate. Before asking your question, kindly introduce yourself by mentioning your name and also your department. Okay, so would anyone here like to ask the first question to the speaker? Okay, so please mention your name, your department, and who is the speaker that you will address the question for.
Yes. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon. My name is Holisoh Nurul Salama. I'm a student from Professional Teacher Program, and I would like to ask Miss Larni. Okay, Miss Larni. STEM education emphasizes technology and innovation, but how do schools in Philippines ensure equal access to STEM learning for students in remote or low-income areas? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. Unfortunately, since education or STEM has been integrated in the to the basic education curriculum, in the remote areas or like in the mountains, unfortunately, they're not provided with like the technologies that we're enjoying if you are in the city. That's the worst part of it. Like signals, there are a lot of factors that would affect that they could not, or they will not be given like fairly as if you are in the city. So, however, there are still like programs that would help these people in the rural, like though it's the deliveries of the books and everything, it would be a delay because some of the schools there you have to, before you get there, before you reach them, you will have to cross like rivers for you to get there to the schools, and other factors that would really affect the delay of such things. But the rivers, and it's so difficult and it's so dangerous. So even for the teachers themselves, they have to like find a way as well, for them to be able to to like share what they have. So if you can see this, the one that I showed you a while back, that's in the city. The winners, they're in the city because they are like given all the access, the resources, and everything in the city, or just in the even provinces, but not in the mountains or the far-flung areas. You call it the far-flung areas, wherein signals, technologies could not reach them. That's the worst part there in our country.
Hopefully, in the future, the remote area and the low income can be delivered as soon as possible. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So we actually have the same challenges, especially regarding the remote area. Yes, right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you very much for Mbak Kholisoh, right, for the first question. And we're going to move on to the second question. Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay. My name is Widya Rahmawati from Professional Teacher Programs at Universitas Terbuka. I would like to ask Mr. John. Okay. We know that early childhood still use their mother tongue. Maybe in elementary, like grade 1 to grade 3, grade 2, yeah. Nah, so how does the Philippine ACE curriculum balance the use of local language and English in multicultural classroom, especially in regions with many dialects?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Widya.
Media.
Widya.
Okay, thank you, Miss Widya. Widya. Okay, so actually, the question is really aligned with the last topic that I have. I just don't have the time to talk it thoroughly or to discuss thoroughly. Okay, with regards to the use of the MT, so we term it MT or the mother tongue. Okay, in the Philippines, prior the matatag, we have again the so-called MT or mother tongue as a separate subject. So in the K to 12, matatag, K to 12, mother tongue is a separate subject. There is really a separate subject for that particular subject wherein each region is speaking different languages. Different also variations of their language are known as the dialects has to really discuss the subject in accordance to what the DepEd has prescribed or the Department of Education has prescribed. So if the DepEd prescribed that in Region 1, because the Philippines has many regions, I guess 17 plus 3 autonomous regions. So when they said the Region 1 will be using the mother tongue Iloco, so the entire Region 1 should make use Iloco or Ilocano as the medium of instruction as well as even the text of the books. That is prior the matatag. However, in the matatag curriculum, the good thing there is, because of the decongestion of the curriculum, what did the government made is they abolish the mother tongue as a separate subject. Because even me is not in favor of mother tongue as a separate subject. Why? I will give you a context for you to appreciate it more. In Pangasinan, the people there speaks many languages. Because Pangasinan is one of the largest province in Region 1. And it is really a melting pot of different languages. In Pangasinan, if you are really rooted in Pangasinan, you should be speaking Pangasinan. That is the language. However, because we are located at the eastern portion of Pangasinan, our language is Iloco or Ilocano. But the student is coming from different areas. There is from that central part, which is Pangasinan. The eastern part is Iloco. And the western part is, again, Iloco and a bit Pangasinan. And because they are near, what do you call that one? The West Philippines, near China, their language is somehow influenced by words or somehow of Chinese. And they enroll to your school or to our school in the eastern part. The point there is, the children coming from different area, not in the eastern part, should should know how to speak Iloco because that is the medium of instruction. So what is happening there? It is again difficult for the learner to cope because that is not their MTA. That is not their mother language. That is not their L1 or first language. So it is difficult for them to adjust. And of course, because of the, again, how do you call that one? The topography of the Philippines, because we are archipelagic nation, we are having the same language, but the sad thing there is different variation. So there is again what we call dialects within the language. So we are just, the analogy is that we are teaching using the same mother tongue, same Ilocano or Iloco. However, we have different, again, words to use, and the book is using the another version. Example, the word is ikan. Diba? Ikan in Bahasa is fish. In Ilocos region on the northern part, ikan is also fish. But in Pangasinan, fish is not ikan. We call that lamas. So, we are same Ilocano, but we have different terms. So what's the problem there? We are having difficulty in teaching the subject itself because we made use of a regional language, which should not be. Because the regional language is not mapping the entire region. Because again, in a topographical country, in the topography of the Philippines is again mountainous. So there are really area that even they speak the same, there are influences from the others. So I am not in favor of, again, mother tongue as a separate subject, which is the good thing that in the matatag curriculum anymore, the mother tongue as a separate subject. It is already converted back, which is, we are very happy, as a medium of instruction. It is not anymore a separate subject. It become only a integrated medium of instruction to teach literacy. Because in the matatag curriculum, there is no such thing as English as a subject, but we have literacy and language. In the literacy and language, you will be teaching it using the two national languages of the Philippines. And what's that? Filipino and English plus the regional language, that is the mother tongue. That's how they ensure the balanced teaching of the content using the MT. And because that is only a medium of instruction, it is depending on the region what would be the best medium to use. Especially they are the one who would know the melting pot in their area. What would be the most common language being spoken in the area? That is what the matatag curriculum is. The matatag curriculum has done on the change with regards to how the mother tongue is used as a subject before and as a medium of instruction. That's why now no separate subject for mother tongue, but mother tongue is again taught, or no, it's again a medium of instruction used to teach literacy, used to teach numeracy, used to teach language. You will be teaching all of those areas using three. You can have it, it's mandatory Filipino and English, and the moment they are not really able to follow the content, that's the time you can shift into multilingual. And multilingual includes mother tongue. And again, the Philippines has 19 mother tongue, or we are not calling that mother tongue. According to the law, it is what we call regional languages. So, 19 regional languages to be used across the Philippine archipelago. So that's how we do it. That's how we ensure everyone learns the same content. Everyone has the same competences. Because under the matatag, streamlining of the content, focusing only on what are the needed areas, not to bombard every learner with many things that is not really needed on their particular level. So I guess that would be the stronghold of the matatag curriculum if you will be asking on my lens as being the educator of early childhood in the academy, training teachers who will be later on be handling young learners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you
Dr.
very much.
John.
Thank you, Mr. Maybe we also can play this curriculum in Indonesia because Indonesia also has many language. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very, okay. Let's give big applause for Dr. John answer. it's very interesting to talk about the medium of instruction in the Philippines, and it's it's very informative for us that you also have 19 regional languages. Okay, all right. So, do we have questions from the online participant? Okay. All right. So I think I need to translate this. Yes, it's for you. Okay, so it's from Ibu or Bapak. It's Sundari Sukocho. Ibu, okay, Ibu Sundari Sukocho from Early Childhood Education Department. Okay, so I'm a student of Early Childhood Education. Oh, okay. She wants to ask that you explain about all the activities, but Ibu Sundari thinks, yeah, that it's applicable for elementary school students to teach STEM. Yeah, maybe it is also related to Ibu Miss Larni presentation that you have given examples and simple activities on STEM for elementary school students. Now, she wants to ask whether you have how to implement or how is the application of the activities for early childhood learners.
Okay. For the early childhood learners, these STEM topics?
Yes, for the STEM.
Okay. Technically, under early childhood, we are not teaching it in a separate contents. In the early childhood, especially kindergarten, we make use of what we call the blocks of the time. So when we say blocks of the time, there is no such thing as this one is science subject, times for science, times for Filipino. We don't have that one. What we have is only the blocks of time where everything revolves on a central theme. So you can have, for example, if there is on this day there is a birthday celebrant and you want that the theme would be a birthday party, then you could have your activities all there. Just one theme, birthday party. Then all the subjects will be injected there or will be touched there. For example, if you want to teach mathematics, maybe the shapes of the what do you call that one? Bandit. The flaglets that they are going to put there to make fiesta or to make it colorful, even the time checking, even that is again for mathematics. Then if they will be transitioning on again on music and movement, then they can have a song related to birthday party, then they can have to play with that and of course sing with that. So that is again music and movement. That is how we do it in the kindergarten curriculum. But for grades 1 and grade 2 and grade 3, yes, it is again a separate subject. It's considered as academics. So when I say academics, there is a particular time for English, particular time for Filipino, for science. What is different in the kindergarten? Because in the kindergarten as a whole, just one unit or just one central theme, every areas or in the what do you call one kindergarten, it is not separated per subject but separated per domain. Physical, gross motor, fine motor, socio-emotional, values. That's how we do it. But for grades 1, grade 2, grade 3, you could simply just adapt and implement as it is the activities for this 10% earlier in the elementary, because what Ms. Larni made mention is considering the entire elementary, which includes grades 1 to grade 6 and of course grades 7 to grades 12. And if you are going to implement the same, you could just do a nature walk. But make it sure it is resonating with the very topic of the day, because again, we are following KCG or the Kindergarten Curriculum Guide, which is framed accordance to the NELF. So we have to be mindful with that everything is again aligned with the standards set forth by the NELF. So the activities would be as what Ms. Larni presented earlier. They could adapt that one as simple as it is. But there is one thing that you need to be mindful with. And what is that? The word is DAP, developmental appropriate practice. Is the activities within the capacity of the learner? If not, then you are going to what level down the activity? Especially so, one of the things that I really get mad with my students is they let their children 3 years of age, 2 years of age to use scissors alone. That's dangerous. They might cut their fingers or and the like. So you are going to look into those hazards because again, safety matters. Actually, safety is the foremost thing that you need to remember when you are going to handle young learners because you are facing, again, a child that is not yours, but you are given the trust and confidence to take care of them, to make them safe. So that is again a obligation vested on our shoulders. So we have to be careful with that. And again, as it is, you adapt as it is, but you have to really ensure to tailor everything with accordance to the ability of the children, the level of the children, the skill of the children. If their skill is developing, please level down the content, level down the activity. The activity comes with difficulty levels. There should be easy, moderate, and of course, good for intermediate level. But for an early childhood, do not give an appropriate level. Always consider what they could do, what are they able to do, what they know, and of course, their characteristics and even their interests would matter. So that's how we do it. There is no such thing as different implementation for grade 2, for grade 3. No, they are the same. They are implemented the same. Just follow the same guidelines, the same instruction, the same procedure, but review carefully where are the areas needing adjustments. Where are the areas needing to be tailored in accordance to the level of the learner. Always be guided that in the early childhood, you have to be developmentally appropriate practitioners. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Miss Lani.
Can I also add, in the first slide a while back, the definition of STEM is an integrated, interdisciplinary approach. In other words, it would not, if it is math, it wouldn't only be like math. You have to integrate other fields of expertise. Say, for example, Professor John made mention a while back about the nature walk. When you go to like how you call this, like a mini forest, but I think it's within the school or within the school. You can just have a nature walk. Then maybe they will be carrying with them like notebook or magnifying glass. Then you can integrate like math. They will be looking at the different or number of stones there. Maybe there were stones or the plants themselves or the number of leaves a plant has. That's already integration, right? No. That's as simple as that. Another thing is that in the activity that I had yesterday, we had activity about an airplane paper. Okay, the airplane paper, we have folded it into many folds then it arrived into an airplane paper. Now, what could be integrated there? You can integrate there design, engineering, calculation, math, the number of folds, how else? The weight, because an airplane, when the real airplane, if it's like heavier on the other side, it won't fly. So you see, those are the integration that we were trying to tell you a while back. It's an interdisciplinary approach, not only one, but many or two or more field of expertise.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Larni, for an additional comments on the question. So yeah, what's important is the contextualization. Yeah, and as you said, to have play-based learning for early childhood learners. Yes, okay. So I think that will conclude our first session for the Q&A session. Oh, I think that will be the only session. Okay, please give a big round of applause one more time. Okay, so before we conclude everything in this session, there will be an MOU signing, and I hope you'll still be seated here.
Okay, thank you for the engaging discussion and thoughtful question from all participants. Before the conclude of the academic session, we will now proceed to a symbolic signing ceremony as a part of the academic collaboration between the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training Universitas Terbuka and Pangasinan State University, Philippines. May I kindly invite Dean of FKIP Universitas Terbuka, Profesor Dr. Ucu Rahayu MSc, representative from Pangasinan State University, and the Vice Dean of FKIP Universitas Terbuka. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a warm round of applause for this meaningful collaboration and international academic partnership. We will now continue with the presentation of certificates and souvenir as a token of appreciation for our distinguished speakers and discussants. We invite our discussants and distinguished speaker to come forward. Oh, foto dulu aja. Oh. Yeah. Now from the Pangasingan State University. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Ibu Siti Hadianti, SPD, MPD, for experting moderating today's insightful discussion. We would also like to express our sincere appreciation to our distinguished speaker, Dr. John Paul M. Flores and Ms. Lari B. Anseta, MED, as well as our discussants, Dr. Randa Titi Chandrawati, MED, PhD, and Dr. Handayani, MED. Thank you for the valuable knowledge, perspective, and meaningful discussion shared with us, all participants today. We truly hope this academic exchange will strengthen collaboration and enrich educational practice within the Asian region. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at the end of today's visiting lecture. On behalf of the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training Universitas Terbuka, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to all speakers, discussants, university leaders, participants, and committee members who have contributed to the success of this event. We hope today's discussion provides meaningful insight and inspires future academic collaboration across Southeast Asia. As the Master of Ceremony, I would also like to sincerely apologize for any shortcomings during the event. Thank you for your attention and participation. Maraming salamat po. Stay healthy, stay inspired, and see you in our future academic event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.